All right. Done my workout. Feeling good. Got some food in me. Got my 3,000 calories in one meal. I think I'm pretty straight right now. I'm doing okay. Doing all right. That said, I'm finally getting to it. We have another request from Discord from, pretty sure it's Peekaboo Sue. Fairly certain it's her. Yep, it is from Peekaboo Sue on the Discord. Link in the description box down below if you give a shit to know. And if the link doesn't work, well, I have two big giant hams that are one-hitter quitters for a good reason. And I shall beat it back into submission. That said, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's jump into this next one from Ren. The Tale of Jenny and Screech. And I'm pretty sure I'll like this one. He's a fun, goofy kid from the Commonwealth, which has become the new Islamic Caliphate. I'm barely joking. It's very sad. Come on, let's jump in. You know, not all losers are musicians, but not all musicians are losers. And some have been one and became the other. Personally, I think they're sometimes mutually exclusive. I mean, come on, just listen to that guitar. Listen to that unashamed, just human vocalization. Tell me that, people who pursue such things are losers. Tell me. Convince me. I get it if someone has no talent, but what if they still even have fun doing it anyway? You let me know what you think in the comments down below. But as for me, well, I've already made my thoughts made known.
It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny walked alone, she was dragging her feet. She was heading back home to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, because she walked it about 1,000 times before she wanted to escape. Can you blame? Well, on the very same night, in a different place, there walked this hooded young youth by the name of James.
I gotta pause it because of what I saw on screen. As far as I'm aware, iconography similar to this stuff usually is placed around brothels. So I'm just like, why? He's on a genuine street, that's for sure. Well, anyway, I could be wrong. It could be just random graffiti. But when I've seen something similar to that all in one spot, usually that's what it means. Anywho, let's continue.
14 years old and out of his brain, he'd been smoking ganja with the boys. James, he grew up to be a kid of the street. His mates called him Screech, he was quick on his feet. He was a liar, a thief, at 14 years old, the devil had set his sights on his soul. As Jenny walked home all alone, she felt scared. Usually she was alright, but it was like there was something in the air. A divine intervention telling her to beware. Maybe intuition bogging her and making her so scared. Sirens sound in the distance to the beat of Jenny's feet. A symphony of the night that echoes crime on London streets. Jenny turns a corner, their eyes they meet. A poor girl Jenny, a boy named Screech. Give me all your money, bitch, give it to me. If you cooperate, then you'll soon be free. I want your purse, your phone, don't fucking look at me. I mean it, bitch, are you listening to me? Jenny freezes statue like a lady shakes stalactite. Feel like liquid nitrogen in the dark night. She tried to find strength to move, but stayed as still as a statue in high-heeled shoes.
Oh boy, as an inner city ghetto kid. Oh man, I know this story. I know this story real well. Much better than some. I grew up around this type of shit. Makes sense. Makes sense. You know. And the truth of the matter is that this continues to this day. It's just it's no longer something anyone's trying to fix. It's glorified. It's promoted. It's female empowerment and just, young male inner city youths doing what they do. Yeah, I know all about that.
What the hell you playing at? You playing games with me? I swear to fucking God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks. You think I don't mean it, girl? You don't know me. The last thing you see will be a boy code. Screech reached with the sheath of the blade, with the teeth that could bite through steel and slice concrete. And he swung possessed with the devil in his chest, and the statue she was turned to butter in her breath. It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny lay still on the cold concrete. She's found somewhere to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, 'cause she'd walked it about 1,000 times before. I guess that she escaped. It's such a shame.
Yep. Sounds about right. Now, if I'm hearing him correctly, one of two things happened because the chronology of the story isn't direct. It sounded like she had escaped, only to meet Screech and to meet her end. Because to people on the street, well, people is just meat on legs. When I've talked about base humans before, go to the ghetto. That's everyone there. There's very few who do leave because they see beyond it. The rest are more like wild animals. And that's just the facts of the matter. That's just how it goes. But yeah, I've known a girl or two who was just like that. Now, for me, it was just, they were some unfortunate female. This is back in the day. Back in the day of red lights and purple curtains and, all the different other markings to try and slip under the radar. I went to school with some of them. Some of them started when they were around 10. No, that's not a joke. That is life in the hood. That's life in the ghetto. That's how it goes. That's just how it is. And that said, I didn't even like it back then. But nowadays, it's, like I said, glorified. It's promoted, even legal. And so is what Screech did to her, if I heard him right. Because they let out murderous criminals left and right. Damn, Kenny Strong. Damn, he can strum. He's probably spent every day for so many years, period, just strumming guitar, just thwanging strings, you know? Pick or no pick. Probably improvised a pick from like bottle caps or something at some point. I did that before, back when I thought I could play guitar. No matter how much I practiced, I just sucked. I can play cello though, kinda. It's been years though. I can play piano. Um, Guitar, nothing more than simple chords ever. I couldn't master anything beyond like the simplest shit for eternity, like Deep Purple or maybe certain parts for bass in Metallica or something. Like I never could get anything, you know, beyond singing or vocalization. I wouldn't really call whatever I've done really singing. I've gotten encores, but that's like small time crowds and stuff like that. They're cool with anyone doing music, honestly. Plus, they're mostly drunk, and that always helps. Plus, I'd be drunk on stage too, so it'd be a good time. Everybody's having fun, but yeah, like as someone who tried to be a musician for many many years, holy Jesus, is he good? He had a talent. He was able to maximize on it, capitalize it as well, and benefit from it alongside hard work, which I guarantee he did a lot of that. Just listening to him strum that shit is just amazing.
Our story, it starts right at the end of the life of poor Jenny, clocked out like Big Ben. Dear Screech, dear boy, where did he go? He melted into the black night just like snow. Patrick, man, let me in, please open the door. I think I fucked up, Patrick, really fucked up, man, I'm not sure. I got crazy, left this lady lying still on the floor. I think I killed her, Patrick, come on, man, I can't knock no more. But Screech kept on knocking till his knuckles became sore. But there's no sign of Patrick down at number 54. No refuge for our villain, for the bitter hands of fate, with something far more sinister in mind that does away.
Facts. Facts. Although that only maybe happens like 50% of the time in my experience. The rest of the time, people will be like, oh shit, man, like, shit, come in, get in here, get in. Right? Like, everybody in the ghetto is for each other mostly and just against the law, against, the rich people. against the man, right? Shit, I grew up in that. You'd be at someone's house, you know, or at a trap somewhere. In some cases, just a random holler in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes for other reasons. But yeah, um, and something similar to that happened to me. That's why I had to leave the city. Except without saying too much more, I was like 16 or 15 when this happened. And I did have a few friends. They were few and far in between because, mixed kid, inner city, living in the ghetto. If you're mixed, everybody hates you. Hispanics hate you. The whites will still treat you good. Quite often they were genial people at least. Even if you were some filthy ghetto dude, they'd still treat you nicely ish. And then the rest of them hated you still. Because you got like, you know, dirty blood. Hispanics call you sangre sucio, right? Just like the whites do. And then the blacks, well, it was a mixed bag. The mixed kids were cool with you because they knew, if they didn't present a certain way, they'd get treated the same. They knew that shit. They still got kind of looked at sideways by others, but that's just how that shit went. The Asians, oh, they were awesome. They were awesome. In fact, loved them. They were great. Some of them taught me Taekwondo too. It was really cool up in Koreatown. It was a good time. Hanging out with those kids is great. But yeah, so something not too dissimilar from this has happened to me personally. Except I wasn't I was technically an innocent who was forced into a situation where I ended up back at someone else's place and I was covered in blood. Thankfully, most of it wasn't mine. But, after I got cleaned up and everything and they we took my clothes out to a burn barrel. We burnt that shit, right? We just put it in plastic bags and then gasoline all over and made sure we turned it and everything, made sure it burned all the way through. Shoes and everything. I even had like, I still had hair back then and I had to shave it all off. And yeah. And then had to have a bit of a talk with them and some cousins. And they were like, yeah, Bub, you definitely need to get out of the city. Of course, this is just a story from some old retard on the internet, so take that as you will. For all intents and purposes, I am serious until I decide I am not, and everything is satirical and parody until uh, whatever. No, I was gonna turn 15. Yeah, I was gonna turn. No, I just turned 15. Yeah, that's right. I just turned 15. It was like a few months after that. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. I know a thing or two about this, maybe or maybe not. You decide.
Hey, babe, you in? Now, nothing really, I'm just a bit tired, listen. Can I swing around yours for a few moments? I just really miss you, babe. What the fuck do you mean you're busy? You fucking bitch! For fuck's sakes! Siren sounds approaching like a banshee in the night. The shrill cry of justice cutting like the sharpest knife. But Screech was never one to run, not one to miss a fight. One hand upon his blade, he turned to face the blue lights. Come on then, you fucking cunts, let's fucking have you then. I am Screech, I'm the boss, I'm the ender of men. You think that uniform you're wearing means that you own these streets? These are my fucking streets, and they call me fucking Screech. Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3", working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets at Screech's chest.
Damn. It's what they call the long arm of the law. But yeah, no, when did this come out? Because I'm pretty sure that, okay, 3 years ago. That makes sense. Never mind. I was going to say, I thought they had disarmed quite a lot of the Metropolitan Police, or the police in the Commonwealth are mostly disarmed now. Or at least, if they're not disarmed, they're absolutely, completely, and totally 100% cucked. And I mean that with a full capital C. So, hearing the story about this happening, I mean, it sounds like what happens where I'm from. It sounds exactly like it. Ghetto is ghetto worldwide, as they say. And ain't that a fact? Ain't that a fact? But yeah, freaking, he's perfectly encapsulating like the average base human animal that is those at the very lowest rungs of the cultural societal ladder. You know what I'm saying? How do I know? Well, that's where I'm from.
Our story, it ends right at the start. Young Screech and poor Jenny lying one street apart. An officer shaken by the boy that he claimed. 2 bodies lay lifeless, and it's such a shame.
Indeed.
It's such a shame.
You know what's kind of interesting? No, wait a minute. Did he? He did. Huh. That's interesting. He wore red for Jenny's song, and then he wore blue for Screech. Well, what do you get when you mix together red and blue? That's a pretty cool little Easter egg right there. I like it. understand why they call him Ren. Or why, the name he uses is Ren. I'm not sure if that's actually his name, or if it's just like a performing name, like an alias. Very interesting. Damn, getting strong.
London City, far from
Freaking knew it. I freaking knew it. I knew he was singing in London. Holy shit.
2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. Rhythmic beats and bloodstains, she saw a lady weep. She's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's tale. Violet was a silent girl, grew up with violent starts. Her mother was a drinker and her father was a bastard. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. I'll spare you with the things he did, I'm sure her mother knew.
Holy Jesus, he is hitting home with so much. And if you know anything about me, you know I know things about stuff like this, too. Very personally. Except, in my case, it was older sisters.
Violet was a silent girl, she...
Thankfully, the younger ones, it stopped with me. So, there's my tiny little victory from my youth.
Moved out at 16, a semi-detached council flat, paid for by a welfare scheme, packing shelves at Tesco, stacking jars like pickled bricks. She met a boy named Stevie and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl and Violet she fell fast. See, Stevie was a wrong un, but he sure knew how to charm her. Every night he took her tight but never left the room. History repeats itself, he'd paint her black and blue and dark. She never stood a chance. The devil comes to dance.
Jesus. Yep. That's why he's known as Ren, I assume.
Why are you always so quiet? On her bedroom door and he's irate. He's been drinking and smoking, he's up late. And he stands by her bedside, she shakes, but her eyes stay shut. You fucking slut, I know you're up. And he pinches her eyelids and folds them up. Violet, why are you lying to me, Violet? She stays silent, things turn violent. That's the sound of his fists when they fall like a crashing pilot. Hit like hailstones, one to the collarbone, full force, full blown, blood's black bone, crack, knick, knack, paddywhack, one to the jaw and the tooth spat, detached, fist connects and disconnects a bone. A quick deflect to misdirect the blow, but nonetheless his punches met her throat. Such a mess he's left her bruised and broke. Violet, why you always so silent, Violet? Why you such a little liar, Violet? Do you think I want to do this, Violet? In character, she stays silent. Well, say something, Violet. Silence. Fucking say something, Violet. Silence. Wait. Say something, Violet. Not one word. She stays quiet.
It is quite amazing, right? When I think back to, he's basically singing very close to my personal history too, except I'm not female. But I've known a thing or two about this as well. It is honestly amazing how physically resilient the human body can be. I mean, I get sent to the hospital very frequently, because, dad was what he was. If everything about him is to be believed, he was Marine Force Recon. Did some tours in Nam. Also, a complete and total religious nut. Absolute religious zealot. Mom, well, feminist. That kind of explains most of it. Where he used his fists, or maybe a board or a bat, she'd use a broom or a spatula or something equating to that. And my sisters. I think I've told this story before, but there's one distinct memory where I got pinned to the floor by all six of the older ones. I have one younger sister. Thankfully, she's doing okay. She's all right, and she's perfectly fine. Like I said, small little victories, because it stopped with me, thankfully. But they pinned me to the floor. I was like 9, maybe 8. Yeah, I was like 9 or 8, maybe. It's hard to really recall that far back, but the memory for that one's still very painfully clear. And these are the same sisters who killed my geese, you know. So yeah, like real evil bitches. But they pinned me to the floor for a whole day. Mom and dad were off doing whatever. Dad was probably driving somewhere. And mom was doing some kind of work somewhere else. Or going to school again, one of the two. Or something else, who knows. Well, they pinned me to the floor. And the original dog shock collars, they didn't have the same limitations that are placed upon them today. Not the same regulations either. And we had real big dogs. You're talking 150-pound dogs. They were made for them. Well, they strapped that super tight in my throat, right over my voice box area. And they ensured they did everything they could possible. Right? Everything. We're talking beating, pinching, zapping, because one of them must have grabbed like because we had a taser in the house. One of them must have grabbed it because I was getting shocked somewhere in my legs. And they did everything they could to force me to make noise for the whole day. And this started sometime in the morning. I think that I ended up like puking up my own, because I had breakfast, but I think I puked it up. But yeah, um, older feminist sisters, not a good time. But yeah, I couldn't speak or talk or nothing for like somewhere near a couple months after that until my voice started recovering. It's miraculous I freaking was able to recover it all. Anyway, I know a thing or two about this. Oh yeah, and for those who keep on saying, "Oh, it doesn't happen to men. It doesn't happen to boys." With how little anyone gives a shit about men and boys and period in the West, period. Not to mention the shame and stigma still forced upon men and boys when it comes to any weakness, period, whatsoever. The small percentage that report does not represent the whole that do not report ever.
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. The doctor, in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, she was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, "If I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive." The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim. In London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. A tragedy or a miracle, it happened on these very streets. Two twins aligned side by side. A girl named Jenny and a boy named Screech.
Yep. Yeah, that'll do it. It's not entirely surprising to me either because life is full of really, really just insane coincidences. But yeah. Reminds me a lot of home. Sad as that is to say, reminds me a lot of home. Goddamn. He's saying something not too far away from my own life story. not too far away from my experience or my childhood. And it's a small world, especially if you never make it out of the ghetto. Well, anyway, let me know what y'all think. And thank you, Peekaboo Sue. You are throwing me down memory lane. And the dam gates, the dams keep breaking. And the memories keep flooding through. So thank you. I need a refresher on that. With that said, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, know what time it is. Be good. Be safe. Make good life for yourselves. Don't compromise safety and security for nobody and nothing. Death and disaster is only a second away. Do what you can today. And I will see y'all in the next one. I'm Better 7 Actual, the formerly almost veteran, Blast Gab Badger, out.